We both saw The Brutalist.
We both saw The Brutalist, the big, epic going for the...
Directed by Brady Corbett.
Yeah, who every time I listen to him on the podcast,
I like him less and less.
Yeah. People just need... This is why I hate artists and director Q&As. And I'm just like, I like your movie way less now. Like, you don't actually know what your movie was about. You come
Well, yeah, funny you mentioned that, because at my screening there was a Q&A where Brady Corbett and Adrian Brody were both there.
Oh, ooh.
And I'll
Way
tell
fancier
you,
than me. Did you see it in 70 millimeter?
didn't see it in 70 millimeter.
Wow, Brian, you honestly missed out. You didn't even. You might as well watch it on your Zune.
Dan, I don't give a fuck. Okay, I saw Mad Max on the airplane. Okay, Furiosa. On
That's
the
pretty
airplane.
good.
I don't give a shit.
As he intended.
Yeah. Look, this movie is long, folks. I'm pretty sure there's a high likelihood that our listeners have heard of this film.
Yeah,
But it is a 3 hour and 40-minute movie,
including a 15-minute intermission,
with a 15-minute
which
intermission.
I appreciate it.
And the Q&A after that?
I didn't have a Q&A. The listeners aren't going to have Q&As.
I was ready to leave by the end of it. And
it was testing your patience.
And it's not one of those 3 hour 40-minute movies that flies by. It's cantankerous. Did I use that word correctly?
No. you did it at all, but it's fine. It tries your patience. It's I don't know. I wasn't bored at all from the movie. I thought it was like pretty engaging throughout.
Yeah.
But you're saying instead of a 3.5 hour movie, you're like, why wasn't this a 10 episode Apple TV Plus show where I mostly looked at my phone and there were 3 episodes in the middle that were completely unnecessary and it was lit like shit, and all the highlights were dimmed and the blacks were boosted, and
yeah.
That's what you wanted.
No, I'm not saying I wanted that, but it could have been like a 2.5 hour film.
Yeah, I honestly, the length, I thought it was going to be much more bored, and I thought it was going to be, because I feel like many movies are way too long, and I was pretty engaged throughout. I don't know if I liked the movie, but I was really I was gripped and I was with it.
I liked the first half much more than the second half, and for many of our listeners who probably haven't seen it at this point, I'll just say that the second half, it gets a bit egregious. Have you read A Little Life, Dan?
Oh yeah. I've not read it, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, it is. The second half is like a film adaptation of A Little Life. Yeah. I'll put it like that. Where I'm just like, Jesus, again, seriously?
Yeah. There are moments that if they literalize physically things that are like already present metaphorically, and you're like, okay, you guys are really hitting the nail on the head here. But the movie is about a Bauhaus architect who survived the Holocaust. He's Hungarian, played by Adrian Brody. He moves to America to stay with his cousin, and he's struggling to find work, and he's kind of this brilliant modernist architect, and he finds good fortune by with this kind of billionaire or millionaire benefactor who's really represents like America and industry. He's played by Guy Pearce, who's amazing, like one of the most underrated actors, I think.
Incredible.
Who I think his name is like Harrison Lee Van Buren, like the most, he's okay, we get it. He's America.
Right.
He's and he ends up being his benefactor and gets him to build this like community center sort of, but obviously there's a catch, and the movie explores the immigrant story, the American dream, the artist patron relationship, how capitalism and financial interests can rot and spoil something. So I know you maybe found it boring. What I at least admired about this movie, and I feel like is so rare, is that like it had a lot of ideas and was exploring them, and was not afraid to be an epic in the style of whatever, like it's not The Godfather, but it's definitely going for like the big sweeping thing. Whatever, Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood.
Yes.
He's maybe the only other American director.
Which the film reminded me of There Will Be Blood.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think
that.
like stylistically, but definitely in terms of its bombastic
It feels
music.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are huge wide shots. It's about like America. It's still about the America.
But narratively, they're both similar of like rags to riches, like striving to obtain your dreams.
Yeah. I think There Will Be Blood is a much more successful film because it's a weirder and more idiosyncratic, and I feel like I understand what it's trying to say in a way that I don't know. I never really got what the Brutalist like was totally trying to say about a lot of stuff. Like I think its architecture ideas are really muddled. Like it's a movie that's about an architect, but the extent of that is just like it's beautiful. He just says like it's not beautiful, it's ugly, it has to be beautiful. And like that's kind of the idea. And he's based on like Marcel Breuer or Louis Kahn, who are these kind of big Jewish mid-century modern architects. But like it's not I feel like it's using it could have been any art, you know? Like it didn't have anything really to say. I think a lot of architects will be like particularly depressed because you don't even really see the building that he's working on until the end. No,
I don't think it's that random that he chose an architect who specializes in the brutalist architecture, because that's, I don't know, it felt appropriate for the story he was trying to tell of like the American dream.
For sure. And it's big.
Yeah.
I mean, similar to Megalopolis, which came out this year, which also has an architect with big vision,
sure,
who's kind of stopped by like mediocre people, you know, trying to like cut down his vision. They're both stand-ins for the director, I feel like, a lot.
Yeah. No, I didn't find it boring. I just did not like the second half of the film. But I do think everyone should go see it because, like you said, I was impressed when I learned that it was made for under 10 million.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's like that. It could have been made for 100 million. I would have believed it.
Yeah.
And there are movies that are made for like $200 million that look like absolute shit,
right?
Comparatively, and it's shot on VistaVision, which is this old film from the 60s, and it's really lush and vibrant, and that was nice to see.
So go see it. Don't listen to any of the podcasts that feature Brady Corbett.
It's true. Ignore
those.
I do think artists don't know what their work is about most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I got from the Q&A with especially Adrian Brody, where tremendous actor.
Yeah.
His body is his instrument.
Great face too.
Let's just leave it at that. He doesn't quite have a way with words.
Why do we expect actors and musicians to have like thoughts about anything? Like what do you like, why are we listening to MIA's politics? Like she's okay, she can make some bangers.
I love him though. I love him. Like, but of all the actors, like Adrian Brody, he has a reputation of being a little weirdo. Like if you follow him on Instagram, he is.
Oh, what does he do on Instagram?
You know, he films a lot of like walk and talk of himself, and he's just he's just like always dressed in this like idiosyncratic garb, and he's just always like, "Hey, Adrian here, popping in just to say, get that sunlight, have a great day, let the energy effuse through you, just popping by to say hi." Okay.
He's like Drew Barrymore. He's like the Jewish Drew Barrymore. Like, if you have a moment to go out in the rain, just do it.
Yeah. He's just a little weirdo. I mean, I touched on this on an earlier episode of this podcast, but he's banned from SNL when he did a Rasta bit to introduce Sean Paul as the musical guest. He went completely off script, but that is the mark of a tremendous actor. He's like, fuck it. Zero brain, full impulse, like, this is what I want to do.
Remember, he won the Oscar for The Pianist 20 years ago, and he kissed Halle Berry, which now immediate cancellation. But he's like this. You watch this like exuberant, excited actor who's finally made it. I just like that he has a good. Like,
he has a great face. Great face.
How many actors have him and Adam Driver? That's it. Everyone else is.
So you're just naming the kind of ugly actors. Great face.
don't know. Do you think
Barry
they're ugly?
Keoghan,
I
great
think
face, great
their faces have personality.
Yeah.
Like Al Pacino. I feel like we used to have.
So you're just
we used to
naming
be a
actors with big noses.
yeah,
Kind of wonky teeth.
yeah, they didn't feel the pressure to get a rhinoplasty.
They're stronger than you.
And for that reason,
they did not need to get.
He can only play Holocaust survivors.
Ozempic.
That's all Hollywood wants from him. It's like every 20 years you'll get to play a Holocaust survivor, and that's the only time we'll care about you.
I know. After a string of mid films, he's just like, all right, fuck it, let's get back into it. Holocaust survivor, baby.
But Guy Pearce, they're both actors who, like, it is a bummer that that great movies aren't made anymore, because I think that their talent is wasted.
In that vein, Jesse Plemons fills that for me.
True. Yeah.
He is my favorite actor, and he's someone who can morph to any film.
Ozempic, and now he's yassified. Is it going to be?
He's yassified, but I mean, every film he's in, he's the scene stealer.
Yeah, he was the only good part of that movie, Civil War.
Amazing.
I thought.
Yeah.
Which was like weird and meandering, and I didn't know what I was trying to say. But
so yeah, I go see The Brutalist.
If you have
go see The Brutalist.
If you have an entire day, just one whole day,
it's a lot.
It is 4 hours with the trailers for Madam Web 4 before.
Oh yeah, you see that at AMC where they give you the trash garbage trailers.
Yeah, especially compared to what you're about to watch, it is amusing.
Okay, that was Middlebrow.